Hi there. Sorry if the lighting is super weird, but it's a nice sunny day in Wisconsin. It's like 33 degrees here in the winter, which is weird. It's almost nice enough to not have a jacket on for people here. So I'm Angela, moo like a chicken, and I wanted to make videos for a really long time. I watch a lot of people in the pagan community here, and so I thought I might as well actually make videos. I do make videos with a friend of mine. We have another channel, but they're random babblings. It's a good time. But I thought I'd actually make a video that meant something to me on a level that we're not really comfortable with making on that channel, I guess. It's more of a fun time, like friends going crazy and talking about everything. And I thought I'd make videos on my own channel about things I've always wanted to talk about, but I don't really have too much of an outlet in the real world, I guess. So this pagan YouTube challenge series seemed like a really good way to start making videos. Annika, you're like the best for starting this because I think it's genius. I watch your videos. I think you're great. And yeah. So this first week, I decided to start on the first week. I'm super behind, but I figure I might as well start from the beginning because why not? So, first week's question or topic was, how did you find your path? So, if I were to give my path a name, I just call myself Pagan. I don't really like any labels aside from that. I don't think I have really a dead set belief system as far as if a hard or soft polytheist. I mean, I would say I'm polytheist, but I don't know. I don't think it's important enough right now in my path to say whether they're hard or soft, as it said. As to how I found the path that I'm on right now, well, I was raised Catholic. My family is very Irish, and pretty much everyone's Catholic. And when I was young, I really respected that, and I really followed a lot of things. Like, I can't say I 100% believed everything that my family believed, but I still celebrate the holidays with my family, and I did think that stuff was important, and I prayed every single night. I had a very ritualistic prayer, I would say, every single night when I was a child. And I honestly, when I started studying paganism, I remembered that when I was really young, I would sit in bed after saying my prayers, and I would imagine myself surrounded by a white light, and it would be my bubble of protection. And to me, it was angels protecting me, and my deceased family members protecting me and surrounding me with this bubble of protection. And that, along with so many things about Catholicism, still resonated when I started studying paganism. If you've ever been to a Catholic mass, there's incense purifications, and there's the idea of 3 comes up quite a bit, and Catholics aren't so, they're saints, and the saints like rule over certain, different aspects and things like that, and those things, it was really not that hard of a transition in my mind to go from that to paganism, I also just really I've always had a love of nature and animals and a belief in equality in those aspects of the world, like that humans are not above animals and things like that, and that really went against a lot of things that my family believed. That's not everyone, but it was a thing that I really thought differently on when it came to life, and it was a significant thing. I can't tell you what exactly I can't remember anymore what first sparked my interest in studying any kind of form of paganism. But when I was in middle school, so I guess like 11, I was exposed to this idea, and some friends of mine, were sort of into it too, and we would talk about different things. Like, we had always been interested in, like, fantasy and stuff like that, and, that obviously appealed to me at the time, and so one time I was in a bookstore, and I really love books. I read a lot, and I have way too many books, but I think a lot of us have that problem. But my mom has always been really supportive of letting me read whatever I want to read. So one time we were at Barnes & Noble, I think, probably, or something like that, and there was a book. It was called Teen Witch, and I probably pulled it out thinking it was some kind of fantasy book at the time, but I started looking at it, and it seemed really interesting. I'm sure you're familiar, a lot of people, I think, see that book, or To Ride a Silver Broomstick, I think it's called. I honestly have not read a single other Silver Raven Wolf book, but that was the first book on paganism I ever bought. Well, my mom bought, but she let me buy it. She didn't really question it. If I wanted to read it, she was going to let me read it. So I got that book, and I read through it, and it really, so much of it made sense to me, and really, like, resonated with my core beliefs in a way that, my family's religion didn't do that for me, my family isn't, like, super religious. Nobody, we don't go to church all the time, or we didn't. They don't still. But there was always, they believe, and the things that his book talked about really made way more sense to me, though. As I got older, I studied more and more, and there was a point in one of my history classes where we were studying probably ancient Greece or Rome. I'm not sure, I can't remember exactly which, but we started talking about their pantheon, and we were all discussing it. We were reading different myths, and my whole class were discussing these myths and discussing the characters, I guess, of the different gods in the stories, and discussing them, and we were all getting into it, But I think that's something that a lot of kids probably, when they study ancient Greece and Rome, and especially like their religious beliefs, I think that the myths themselves really get kids talking and get kids thinking, and I think it's a great way to learn, just because, stories are stories, and stories no matter how old they are, can mean something to anyone. And especially, younger people who have a more open mind and don't have as much, the society's expectations drilled into them about, what's real and what's not real, or, things like that. And we're also preteens, so we're slightly rebellious, I guess, and being able to question our family's belief system and, things like that. But I remember as we were discussing these characters, in these stories, our teacher stopped us mid-discussion and said, like, I mean, exact quoting obviously will not happen, but she stopped us dead in our tracks and she said, "You guys are acting like these people were real, that these gods are real. These are just stories made up. None of this is real." I don't know what her religious beliefs were, but it really hit me this is very early on in my studies of paganism, but it really hit me like, wow, that is so insensitive to tell me and this whole class of kids that these gods, these deities, aren't real, despite the fact that thousands of people believed in them for so long, but they're not real. That just seems really insanely disrespectful to me. I wouldn't go to anyone else of any other religion and tell them that their deity aren't real. Even if I thought they weren't, I wouldn't say that. I don't know. But that really hit me in a way. I was like, wow, I guess, like, this is a really not normal thing to think about, and that almost sparked my interest more, I guess, to study paganism. And I also felt a very deep connection to my Irish roots, and I started to study more about their culture and as much as we know about ancient Celtic beliefs and stories and fairy tales and things like that. And I went from considering myself a Wiccan in training to just a pagan. I didn't like the constraints of Wicca. There were a lot of little things, the core beliefs really resonate with me, but there were a lot of little things that I just didn't think were me, I just didn't feel comfortable calling myself a Wiccan in any way, so I just stuck with pagan. And most people don't demand more of an answer than that. That's confusing enough or answer enough. Like, maybe they understand that on some vague level, so they, no one else needs more of an answer. I don't need more of an answer, so that's what I call myself, I guess. From that point on, there really wasn't a question about what I was or what I believed, or, like, core beliefs and what I was going to call my path, what I was going to study. There really wasn't any question after that. And since that point, I'm 25 now, and so it's, I'd say, around 11, 12, and all I've done is just study more and solidify certain beliefs and maybe change fluidly what I believe in other spots, other aspects. But that was it, I think it's a pretty common story. It's nothing crazy or anything. But yeah, so hopefully I'll keep making these videos. I want to try and catch up to everybody else and make sure that I'm making videos along with everybody. I love watching. Like I said, I watch a lot of pagan YouTubers. It'd be impossible to name the amount that I'm subscribed to. I don't know. But Yeah, I want to get involved other than just making comments on other people's videos, and get to be part of the discussion sometimes. And I really am really glad this whole challenge exists. It helps a lot with coming up with things to talk about when you have no idea how to start. So thank you again for starting this, and for everybody else making all these videos and making it a thing. That's so great. And yeah, hopefully I see you guys again soon. We'll see. If not, I'll just keep commenting on everyone else's videos, and we'll just do that. Well, have a great day, and I'll see you later.